My Hero Ultra Rumble is a game of all time. I really have mixed feelings about this game, and it sucks because I love My Hero Academia. When this game was still in beta testing a while ago, I kept seeing clips of it. I was never too excited about the idea of a My Hero game being in a Battle Royale format, but one game and one broken TV later, we're here with My Hero Ultra Rumble. And I have some opinions about this game. But first, what I need you to do is clench your butt cheeks and hit that subscribe button. That's a My Hero reference, I swear. My Hero Ultra Rumble is the third console game for the My Hero series, with the previous entries being My Hero Once Justice 1 and 2. That's a stupid ass name, by the way, I don't like that. These two games were pretty well received, enough to at least warrant the creation of this game. Similar in styles mechanically, and aesthetically, and the same smell. A lot of this game was taking what was already made from the previous games and slapped onto the store. This game is no different from the previous games aesthetically. I'm not saying they had to remake the game from the ground up, but at least maybe throw in a couple new models. But to be fair, everything looks alright to me, nothing out of the ordinary. But the UI, it looks awful. It looks so bland, but at the same time, there's so much going on. It bores me to death. You guys are probably gonna hate me for bringing this game up, but I think the best UI I've ever seen in a game is Persona 5. This went overboard on the style, but it kept the menus relatively simple to compensate for how much was going on. With this game, nothing is going on and everything's confusing. I don't know if this was intentional, but I wasn't able to invite anyone through my console. This game apparently isn't cross-platform either. And that's mainly on me, but I did a Google search saying that it was. And then why is there codes to join parties in the game? Like, this is so monotonous. There's so many hoops you have to go through to play with a friend, and it just kills any momentum for playing. Also, there's a separate toggle for game chat that isn't on automatically, and if I didn't know any better, I'd just assume there wasn't game chat at all, which is so fucking stupid. There's a separate menu to access the hero agency, and if you never needed to change these settings, you would never know it was there. And this menu by itself, it looks like piss. This is some of the worst UI design I've ever seen. Once you spend hours navigating the menus, you can finally play the game. And let me tell you, this game is chaotic. Let me start with the actual gameplay. It's 12 teams of 3 fighting in the USJ until the last team's the winner. Just like another game. The circle gets smaller and smaller to force the teams closer together, and that's pretty much it. You collect items that power up your character, and you get these through chests and saving civilians. The game can be easily classified as easy to pick up, but hard to master. This is not a very hard game on paper, but this is where the controls come in. The controls of this game make sense, but they're executed pretty weird. Most of the physics in this game are brought in from the Once Justice games, so it feels similar, but it feels weird using it in the context, which is of course a battle royale. In the other Once Justice games, you had 3 buttons doing various specials. One was basic, and the others were actual quirk moves. And on top of that, you were able to add trigger, bumper, and stick inputs to add to the moves. This was pretty simple, but with those games, it was a matter of when to do what. The Once Justice games were about situational awareness, so it's really satisfying to play once you know what inputs to do and how to counteract them. This was such a simple way to add depth to a game, and it makes it fun to learn, but not in an overwhelming way. With Ultra Rumble, this game doesn't have nearly as much control as the Once Justice games, and that was expected. This game tries its best to translate those controls by keeping it simple, but they have these universal rules and it kinda makes boundaries. Each character gets 3 or 4 abilities, which is pretty similar to the previous games, but you're pretty much limited to that in fighting. You can power yourself up with the level cards, and these increase the stats of one ability, which can be really useful, but at the same time, you could be 3 minutes into a match and someone one-shots you with a level 9 attack. I thought this was a cool way to get stronger means of attacking since none of these characters can pick up a golden scar. But in my opinion, these attacks are way too strong. The basic attacks are such a weird addition to the game. They do base damage, but from my experience playing, they're almost impossible to use. I never found myself in a situation where I need them over my quirk abilities, aside from attacking downed enemies, even though I usually just finish them off. At that point, I don't even want to use them because when I do, I'm instantly overpowered by someone else, or I'm never able to connect these hits. If I had to propose a way to fix this issue, I'd directly transfer the controls of Once Justice 2. I'd still keep the items in the health bar, but I changed the guard bar to a traditional guard button because the automatic shield fucking sucks. I think that this would still work in a way where it's still pretty fun to play and that depth is still there, while also keeping the same format of a battle royale. I skipped over a pretty important detail of this game that I can't keep in much longer. I'm just bursting at the seams trying to keep it in. This game is free. So when games are free, they're littered with microtransactions to make a profit. So that's understandable. But when you have mystery pulls that give you a bunch of voice lines and the battle pass, you gotta be kidding me. And I thought I was tweaking when I saw the animation like in Dokkan Battle or any one of the other anime mobile games. And don't get me wrong, I'm not paying for any of this shit. But when you get free stuff to do, all the cosmetics are shit. And I don't mean this on a case-to-case basis. Most of them are piss. And when you think about it, the game before it had way more stuff to customize your characters. And all the assets are still there just sitting probably. So why not just add those things to fill up the battle pass instead of a million voice lines that you can get that I promise you will never ever use. I really wanted to like this game just because it was a My Hero Academia game. And I love the other games, so I really had some hopes for this game. This was clearly not a passion project, and I wish they would have put a lot more time and resources into another game that will probably need it. Even though it's a bit hard to play, there's one thing about this game that the other ones don't. Immersion. This game is very fun to play when you're playing with a friend. You're able to really dial in and make moves together, and it's actually pretty great. There's even ways to combine attacks, which is cool, and I didn't expect that to really be a thing. It feels like you're in an episode of My Hero, specifically in Season 5, where everyone's showcasing their abilities. And that game brings the tension to a whole nother level. I really don't think this game will last long because of what kind of game it is. It is a live service battle royale game that has much better competition, and as much as I really love My Hero, this is not a very good game to me. Not because I'm bad at it, not because I don't want it to succeed, it's just so much awkwardness about it. And I think that will ultimately hurt the game in the long run. And if you're looking for a great time with your friends on a Friday night, this would be a great game to play once you get the controls down. But I don't see myself playing this game after the first season is over. Now that this is done, I'm gonna go play some Fortnite. Someone go, please give me the gritty, please!